Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to our PrestigePEO webinar series. My name's Evan Engler. I'm the Director of Retirement Benefits here at PrestigePEO, and I'll be your host this morning. As always, all of our webinars viewers are muted during the presentation, but we do encourage you to utilize the chat feature for any questions you may have, and we'll address them at the end of our webinar. Of course, if your question is not answered, we'll also give out our personal contact information so that we can send you that information as soon as possible. Additionally, this webinar is being recorded and will be posted on Prestige website under the resource section so that you can refer to it at any time. You can find all of our recorded webinars at prestigepeo.com/webinars. Our presenters today are Ken and Trey. Ken is from our fiduciary BKS, and Trey is from Emeritus Blue Star. And I'll hand it over to Trey to run through today's webinar.
So first off, folks, my name is Trey Martin. I'm with Emeritus. I'm going to be talking to you today about the Prestige Employee Retirement Savings Plan, Prestige Employee Administrators Retirement Savings Plan, excuse me. I just need to go through a couple disclosures, as you'll see on that previous slide. Unless otherwise specified in this presentation, none of the entities mentioned are affiliated with or owned by Emeritus or any of its holding companies. Just got to get that out of the way to make the lawyers and the compliance team happy. So thank you for listening to that. So on today's call, what we're going to talk about is the Prestige Employee Administrators Retirement Savings Plan, Multiple Employer Plan. So we'll be discussing, why retirement plans are important, the power of a multiple employer plan. We'll speak specifically to the Prestige Employee Administrators Retirement Savings Plan while giving a brief overview of the technology platforms provided to the plan, including the employer and participant website, as well as our mobile app. So why are retirement plans important? Well, a previous study conducted by CNBC found that roughly 55 million American workers, did not have access to retirement savings plans at work. This creates a huge gap in retirement savings for retirees. So a retirement plan is part of a comprehensive benefits offering to your workforce that shows an investment in your employees' financial well-being. 401k plans can provide tax savings to the employer by making tax-deductible employer contributions on behalf of their employees. Additionally, in some cases, the plan can be designed to maximize the owner's personal savings potential within IRS limits for the given plan year, while providing tax-free growth to all participants. Also, for certain startup adopters to the Prestige plan, a tax credit can be received if the business pays certain qualifying expenses incurred by plan participants, possibly reducing the employer's tax liability dollar for dollar up to a specified limit. For additional information on the tax credit and how it may apply to you, please consult with your tax advisor. So introducing the Prestige Employee Administrators Retirement Savings Plan. We all know the great services provided by PrestigePEO, but are you fully utilizing the solution by taking advantage of the retirement plan that is offered? The Prestige Employee Administrators Retirement Savings Plan is a qualified 401k plan. It's also known as a multiple employer plan that will operate and feel just like you have your own 401k for your own company, with much less administrative burden and significantly decreased fiduciary liability. So let's dig into the plan. So as far as the plan providers, we have Prestige Employee Administrators, who acts as the ultimate plan sponsor. They are the ultimate fiduciary on the plan. They are responsible for registering with the IRS and DOL, selecting the service providers to the plan, as well as signing off on the 5500, approving loans and distributions, and things of that nature. So just think the ultimate plan fiduciary when you think of Prestige. Additionally, Prestige has engaged BKS Retirement Service to act as an investment fiduciary on the plan as well. We have their representative with us today in Ken Jewell. And Ken, I'm going to turn it over to you to give an introduction of yourself and BKS Retirement Services.
Thanks, Trey. Thanks, Evan. So our role, BKS Retirement Services, we are, the technical term, the 321 investment manager or investment fiduciary. What it really means is that we are able to provide advice and guidance to the folks at Prestige, specifically their investment committee, which we meet with every quarter, and sit on the same side of the table as Prestige, giving conflict-free advice to help them manage and oversee the retirement plan that you and your employees would be participating in. So it really gives us a unique perspective. It allows us to give advice that's in the best interest of participants, not in the best interest of BKS or any other entity. And so we monitor those investments on a regular basis. We also provide investment advice and guidance to participants. We don't sell product, we don't manage money. So again, that gives us the ability to provide conflict-free advice to participants who call us. We're not trying to sell them anything. We couldn't sell them anything, even if they wanted to buy something. And then we also provide supplemental education webinars, supplemental to what Emeritus Blue Star offers. And those are on a variety of topics that are not necessarily just specific to the 401k, but it could be financial wellness and things of that nature, how to become a better investor. So we provide some supplemental services to the plan and help enhance the overall participant experience.
Perfect. Thanks, Ken. So moving on to the next provider, Charles Schwab is the custodian for the plan. So this is where the plan assets are held. So when you submit your contributions to the plan, whether that be an employer contribution or your own employee deferrals, they will go into the custodial account at Charles Schwab. So for instance, if you take a distribution, you would get a 1099 coming from Charles Schwab. Now, lastly, my firm, Emeritus Blue Star, is the record keeper and third-party administrator on the plan. So in our role as a record keeper, we track all of those contributions down to the employer and employee level that go into Charles Schwab, and make sure that your contributions are being invested according to your investment elections, and make sure that we are tracking your overall plan balance correctly. Additionally, we act as the third-party administrator. When you think of third-party administrator, think of compliance. We're making sure that the annual compliance testing on the plan is done in conjunction with Prestige, as well as helping file the annual 5500 and working with auditors to complete the plan audit. So when you think about us, think about record keeping and compliance. So what makes a multiple employer plan so powerful? Let's take a look at a few of the major ways the PrestigePEO multiple employer plan can make your life easier as an employer wanting to offer a retirement solution to your workforce. A typical plan sponsor sponsoring their own plan can have up to 50 plus responsibilities related to the sponsored 401k plan. These responsibilities can be administratively burdensome, time-consuming, and carry significant fiduciary liability to the employer. Additionally, employers ultimately want to provide their employees with a cost-competitive solution. By being able to pool your assets with other unrelated companies in a single trust account, economies of scale in pricing and investment expenses can be achieved at a greater pace, all while allowing each individual adopting employer to retain full autonomy over the provisions they select in their adoption agreement. As previously referenced, 401k plans can carry a large burden as it relates to fiduciary liability, and most HR professionals aren't necessarily ERISA or 401k experts. Non-compliant 401k plans can generate significant unexpected expenses for the plan sponsor. Failure to remit employee deposits timely deliver notice to participants, filing 5500s on time, as well as performing annual testing correctly can generate financial consequences to the plan sponsor if not done timely or correctly. The Prestige MEP can help relieve this burden almost entirely. In just a bit, you'll see how these concerns are almost entirely removed from the adopting employer with the use of the Prestige MEP and the related service providers to the plan. So, as I mentioned a minute ago, you can see a typical plan sponsor can have an overwhelming number of tasks that they are responsible for as it relates to the plan. I'd like to speak to just a few of these briefly. First of all, one of the main issues that can arise from a plan are the timely deliverance of notices, whether that be an annual QDIA notice, auto enroll notice, or a safe harbor notice. or one of the several other required notices that need to be delivered timely to participants for the plan, the sponsor needs to make sure these are going out timely. Most require a mailing at least 30 days in advance of the employee becoming eligible to participate. The Prestige MEP relieves this duty from the employer by tracking employee eligibility based off information provided in payroll census files and make sure these notices are delivered timely to participants. Employees are mailed enrollment kits with necessary information to enroll 30 to 45 days in advance of becoming eligible for the plan. ERISA bond coverage. Plan sponsors are required to carry ERISA bond coverage and report it on their 5500 filing. With the Prestige MEP, individual employers, are not required to carry this as it is carried at the plan level, and you do not have to monitor the coverage amounts on an ongoing basis. You are also relieved of the requirement to file your own 5500. This is all done at the plan level and facilitated by Emeritus, Blue Star, and Prestige. Distribution approval. When participants request distributions, those typically need to be acknowledged and signed off on by the plan sponsor. In the Prestige MEP, the distributions are signed off on at the MEP level and alleviate the need of the employers to have to continuously monitor these tasks. Employers do receive reports of the requested distributions, however. Plan document maintenance. The sponsor is also required to make sure their plan document is restated timely and amended intermittently for regulatory changes. In the MEP, this is maintained at the MEP level, not at the participating employer level. RMD calculations. Each year, certain terminated and actively employed participants must receive required minimum distributions from their account balance. Failure to issue timely can result in significant financial penalties to the participant. Emeritus, in conjunction with Prestige, make sure these are processed correctly and communicated to the affected participants. And lastly, audit support. The participating employer isn't responsible for hiring and maintaining a plan auditor. The audit documentation and related requests are fielded by Prestige and Emeritus and taken off of the employer's plate, in turn freeing up your HR employees to focus on other aspects of your jobs. So those are just a few of the main sponsor responsibilities that can be time-consuming that are taken off your plate. So just to kind of summarize that, the power of a MEP is that 95% of those administrative tasks are outsourced. The participating employer is responsible for selecting and monitoring the PEO MEP, maintaining accurate census and employee information, maintaining accurate ownership and organizational information with the related PEO and providers for compliance purposes. So much of those responsibilities are removed from you in your everyday tasks. And just to reiterate, the MEP will allow for the autonomy over the plan design, will reduce your administrative burden, and greatly reduce fiduciary liability to you, all while delivering cost savings. So as far as the division of plan responsibilities go, I'd just like to point out that by joining a MEP rather than sponsoring your own plan, you reduce your workload and your risks. As an adopter employer, your primary responsibilities, again, are to provide accurate information to your plan service providers and periodically review the MEP to ensure it continues to meet your company's needs. I just cannot reiterate that enough, and how much of the responsibility is taken off your plate in this plan. And one last time, the responsibilities such as filing the Form 5500, approving distributions and loans, determining and paying beneficiaries, notice fulfillment, and other time-consuming tasks are completely removed from your plate in the Prestige MEP. So some of you may know and may even live in a state that has passed a mandatory or a state-mandated retirement plan requirement. The Prestige PEO can be a terrific alternative to those of you who live in a state with this mandate requirement. Currently, approximately 16 states have a mandated or voluntary requirement. Most of these are traditional or Roth individual retirement accounts and require you as the employer to remit the employee contributions. In addition, many require automatic enrollment, and you are required to monitor the eligibility and enrollment of your employees. Traditional and Roth IRAs also have lower contribution limits compared to 401ks and do not allow for employer contributions. Additionally, most have income requirements to contribute, meaning that if your income level is above a certain limit, you're not eligible to contribute anyway. This can be problematic for owners and other higher earning employees. While 401ks do have limits on contributions, they are much higher. For instance, in 2023, an employee under 50 has the ability to contribute up to $22,500 of their own earnings into the 401k. Those over 50 can make catch-up contributions that can add an additional $7,500 to their account. IRA limits for 2023 are much lower at $6,500 for those under 50, with a catch-up contribution of only $1,000 for those who are over 50. So as you can see, the 401k can offer much higher savings potential for you and your workforce, with the added ability to offer employer contributions, further increasing savings rates. So in our capacity as the record keeper and third-party administrator, Emeritus Blue Star also offers the web portals for the employer as well as the employee. We do have demo sites available, which you can see the address and login information for in this slide here. Please feel free to utilize those demo sites to look around and get used to our web portal. Additionally, we offer a fully enrollment capable mobile app. So for your more technologically savvy employees who prefer to do everything on their smartphones, they can download our mobile app from whatever app store they may use, and they can log in and enroll completely through the mobile app. You can also do a demo of the mobile app by downloading it from your app store and logging in as a participant with the username and password you see on the slide that is presented now. So in conclusion, the PrestigePEO MEP is a simple turnkey 401k strategy that relieves you of significant fiduciary liability, is compliant, easily administered, and cost efficient. So with all that being said, we'll now have some time to take some questions from anybody that has any questions they would like to ask. So for anybody who is wondering, there are some commonly asked questions that I can go through for you right now. So some of the commonly asked questions we get start with, does our company have to offer an employer contribution? And the question is no. The company has complete autonomy over your own plan design, and you can choose to have an employer contribution only if you choose to. If that works for you, you can provide a match. You can provide a profit sharing contribution. You will go through a plan design call with one of our plan design consultants, and they will talk to you about your options as it relates to your specific adoption of the plan. Another commonly asked question is, if I have a balance in the 401k plan with another employer, can I roll that into this plan? And the answer is yes. The plan does accept eligible rollovers from other 401k plans. You can contact us and we can work with you and your previous service provider to figure out whether that is something that can happen. Is there any cost to start the plan? No, there's no cost for you to start up your adoption with the Prestige plan. However, there are plan fees assessed on a quarterly basis. More information on this can be provided upon request. Is participant level investment advice available? Ken, is this one that you could answer and maybe give some information on?
Sure. So the simple answer is yes. Participant investment advice is available through BKS Retirement through my firm. As I mentioned earlier, we provide conflict-free advice, but the way a participant would go about receiving this service or taking advantage of it is they would call our 800 number or they can shoot us an email, and one of my staff would arrange a call with an advisor. And then you'd have the time to ask all the questions that you want with respect to your plan, investment allocations, retirement projections. And because we're a registered investment advisor with the SEC, we're able to actually give you very specific investment advice and guidance, not just general education. So it's typically a pretty productive phone call. Participants can call us as frequently as they desire and can speak to us as long as they want. Just let our staff know in advance how much time you'd like to allocate, and we look forward to speaking with you.
Thanks, Ken. So just a couple more questions that we get typically. What happens if an employee fails to make investment elections, but yet has elected to contribute to the plan? In that case, they will be defaulted into a qualified default investment alternative, which is essentially going to be a target date fund that aligns with the employee's at retirement age based off of their current age. And lastly, how often can I change my 401k savings rate? This can be changed each payroll period within certain administratively feasible timelines. So typically, this can be changed every payroll, however. So those are some of the main questions we get regarding the plan. So if you have any additional questions, or if you are looking to join the plan, want additional information, please contact Prestige and your relevant Prestige rep, and we look forward to bringing you on to the plan. So, Evan, that's all I have for today.
Thank you, Trey, and thank you both Trey and Ken for this valuable presentation, and thank you for everyone joining us today. In the future, you can view this webinar recording on our website at prestigepeo.com/webinars. We'll also post the contact names of the presenters today, along with you can reach out to your HRBP for any additional guidance or questions you may have. As always, we appreciate your feedback, so please feel free to share your opinions on today's presentation so that we can continue to develop webinars with the information that you and your employees need the most. Be sure to check your inbox for our monthly Insights newsletter, which will give you the latest in HR news information that you need. You can also follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter for any current happenings or updates at Prestige and the latest information that's out there. Once again, thank you all, and we'll see you next time.